So Yi-Ting, how about for you? Are there any experiences your kids have had at school or with extracurricular activities where there have been difficult moments where somebody has maybe said something?
Yeah. At first, when I got invitation for this program, I had planned to say something positive, and because I feel like in a very diverse school environment, the issues my kids faced are not that different from other kids. They're also facing other challenges like social economic issues. At least that's not something my kids need to face. And so I was like, well, I always try to teach my kids to be positive about their identities. Like I remember on the day my daughter was born, I actually put a poster about, it's all full of penguins, but one penguin has duck feet, and then it said, "Dare to be different." Because I feel that's the only way they can deal with this. Because when they visit my parents in Taiwan with me, people are going to tell them you're not Taiwanese or Chinese enough, and here people are going to just see their race often, and so I feel like, well, your dad and I, we love each other, but we don't want to put this pressure of identity on you. And so I feel the only way I could encourage them is from day one to encourage them to be different and to be dare to be themselves, and to encourage self-acceptance. But as the day goes by, there are moments of anger. Yes.
Well, I don't know your daughter. Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. It's interesting because we have a very different but related message for Maddie,
right?
Because our kids are the same ethnic mix.
Yes.
And what we've said to her is, you're both.
Yes.
And how often is it that and how cool and special is it that you get to be in two different groups?
Right.
And so it's not that, and I agree, it's like if, Korean people will be like, okay, wait, you're not totally Korean. Jewish people are like, yeah, you're definitely not what we think about as Jewish. But I think maybe for us, and maybe it's a different way of looking at the same thing, it's, you get to be both, and so who you are is a Venn diagram.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Actually, 3.
You're 3. Yes. Yeah. Legit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I don't really know your older daughter, Hannah.
Right.
I've met her, but I do know Issa.
Yes.
And my son, because my son is the same age as Issa, and they've been friends. And I remember the first time he told me about Issa, before I'd actually met her, he said, "Mom, she's like I forget the candy he was referring to, but he said, she's sweet on the outside and feisty on the inside." And it just always cracked me up. And then after meeting her, I'm like, that's the perfect description. And when you were saying you were encouraging your daughters to dare to be different, I could see Issa wholeheartedly embracing that, given her personality. So how about Hannah? Has she embraced that idea of daring to be different?
Yeah, they are a little bit different, but I think it doesn't even seem to be a choice. They just have to be strong, to be self-accepting, and just have to, because I feel things could turn to a more empowering way, or things could turn into a more self-doubting way, and I hope things could go turned a more positive way. But unfortunately, there are still moments that there is the harsh reality, so there are stereotypes that we have to deal with, like cultural stereotypes, and then it's not just for the kids, and sometimes it's for the parents too, and then so as half Asian kids, if you have achievement, and people would say it's tiger mom, and parenting, and my daughter would get so pissed, so upset with that, not just because it's a kind of racial stereotype, but she feels that if you're saying my mom is a tiger mom, then are you assuming that I'm a kid that has no idea of what I'm doing? I'm just a robot that listens to my mom, but that's not true. I'm doing this for myself, and then so that's why there are some moments like that she will be even more upset than I am, and then she is really interested in leadership stuff, and then people would tell her, you're a very strong girl, and then but sometimes you need to tone things down a little bit. Maybe it's your Jewishness, and or maybe, and you need to know that the majority, the mainstream of society is very sensitive, and you have to tone down. And sometimes I wonder if she is white, maybe she will be seen as a strong leader rather than all this bossy is being good or
Yeah.
something like that. But there just seems to be a lot of reality that they have to encounter, which is
Yeah.
very subtle. Yeah.
Right, when they
Wow.
are trying to fit in, like Stella's 11 and just wants to fit in, and she's one of the only African Americans in the school. There's plenty of kids with brown skin, but they're Asian or Middle Eastern, and they're teeny tiny, and she's developed a lot faster than a lot of the other kids, so she definitely notices that she's different, and being adopted, that really stands out to her too. And so she really struggles right now
Yeah.
with identity. But
And so, as her mom, what have you done with that, and how hard is that?
I'm always
for
looking
you?
for African American mentors for her.
Yeah.
I just found a college student who has helped me with her hair before, who seems like an awesome woman who's going to be kind of like a big sister to her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm always...
So did they go out and do things together then?
They will.
Just one-on-one? They
Mhm.
will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, and that's
Yeah.
going to make her feel awesome. It's just so important for her to see African American women. So whenever there are events or speakers or programs that the university offers, I try to go with her so that she can see African American role models, people who look like her doing great things. That's going to
Yeah.
be huge for her identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she feels a little isolated, like she doesn't really know her place. She's in an all-white family, and so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about with Maddie? Does she embrace that idea of daring to be different?
I think we have just a different take on it, but I think every family figures out their own way through that stuff. So for us, it's that, okay, you're part of multiple things. And we don't think about, when we talk about different, it's like, you know, she likes monsters and cryptids, and she's, you know, kind of a weird kid. And so we more think about different as like, okay, you're weird, like embrace your weird, and like just be happy to be you. And I guess we've made it not as much about race or ethnicity as just like generally like just be happy to be who you are. Because I just feel like my feeling, and maybe your feeling about your kiddos is similar, but that the world's going to cut her down for being who she is in an ethnic sense. And the world's going to cut her down for being a girl, and the world's going to cut her down for all these things. And so what I see, and I'm guessing my husband agrees, I don't know, what I see as my job is to make her think she's awesome. And then like as bad sort of intrudes upon that vision, then we talk about it. But if the central thing is like who you are is beautiful, both inside and out, then if that's the place that we're starting from, then maybe stuff's going to happen, but it might bounce off easier.
Okay.